We are the girls who gab. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hot drinks. We're drinking hot drinks. Oh,
Yum.
it feels so good.
It feels so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kassie.
I'm Bayley.
And today's episode is going to be about social media and kind of like about what's going on right now in the world and like how we're dealing with social media and just like also in general the comparison game, and then talking more about like personal choices that we've made with social media as well.
About like our personal lives.
Yeah, and
What's
who's
open.
a part of them and all
Mhm.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I am excited.
Me too. This is a good one. I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, I think that this might be my favorite episode yet, and I haven't even done it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I've been really excited to do
I have
this
a lot
episode.
of favorite episodes, actually.
Yeah, true.
A lot.
I think we do this podcast for ourselves.
That's true.
Like we
do.
watch it or read it.
I
listen
listen
to it.
on my way to work. Mm-hmm.
Except I don't go to work anymore.
When I edit, I won't listen for probably about a week because I'm like, I just heard us twice.
Yeah.
After recording and then editing.
But then
and then I'll listen. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, every
It's
once in a
brand
while,
new.
my podcast app will like remind me that I haven't listened to an episode yet, and I'm like, that's because I edited that one. But I guess I'll listen now.
But I'll do it if you're telling me. Yeah, same.
Oh, fun.
Oh, well. Okay, what are you drinking? What are we drinking?
We are both drinking hot chocolate.
Hot cocoa.
Yes.
I don't know why. I went to go tell you earlier, but I've been watching like old movies. And so I was watching What a Girl Wants. And there's a scene where her and her dad are like eating Cocoa Krispies. And so I bought Cocoa Krispies. And then I was like, I've been wanting hot chocolate. I'm going to buy all the things.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like high times in the hot summer
I
month.
know. What is wrong with me?
And like I cannot stand the heat right now, but this sounded so good when you suggested it. I was like,
yes. Oh, that is so good. First sip was bomb.
yeah.
Oh,
Do you
wow.
have a pour one out this week?
Honestly, I have none. I don't have a pour one out
Amazing.
this week.
That's really good.
I have 2 cheers to that, so that'll be in
Yeah,
place.
we'll do one of your cheers to that.
Okay, my cheers to that is we got the keys to our house and I'm so excited. It's like official. Like everything's done. It's ours. We had our first meal in it. It was great. Amelia made a mess. Fantastic.
And you move in.
This week, we're going to
Yeah.
say that because we got our keys so early, like a full week before the original date. Andre and I have off all next weekend. And so we're going to keep that the main big move weekend, all the boxes, the furniture stuff. But starting tomorrow, we're actually going to move like little things and like
Ooh,
show my
fun.
parents. So
Oh, have they not seen it
I
yet?
haven't seen it. Well, my dad has. He went to
Gotcha.
the inspection with us, but my mom hasn't or my brother. So
Gotcha.
I'm so
Yeah,
stoked.
I'm excited to see it next weekend because I'll be helping you move, which I'm not excited to do that, but
Well, I've been holding it against her for years. I helped her and Matt move once, like from their tiny apartment, and so now she's gonna help me move a whole house, and it's
yeah,
great.
it's okay. I'm gonna continue to use you because we'll move again in February, and I'll pour one out.
Okay.
My pour one out this week is that I've been working from home. Matt has been working from home. David has been working from home, and I'm tired of seeing their faces.
They're brothers, for the record.
They're brothers, so it's my brother-in-law and my husband, and
That's an
they
interesting-
work together. So like sometimes they already. Well, I mean, we all have very dry, sensitive humor and stuff. So like we do bicker back and forth like for funsies, but also then sometimes it's a true bickering, and then also they work together. So then they have like little, not like arguments by any means, but just like disagreements about what they're working on and stuff. And I'm like,
I don't want to listen to this.
I don't want to listen to it. And yeah, and we're all, me and Matt, like our offices are our desk in the living room. So we have to just like share every space.
And then David's in his bedroom, but
Yeah, so he has more personal space than we do because
Yeah.
we share. Matt was actually talking about that the other day, and I'm like, you have a wife, you get other perks.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have our private too. Don't worry.
But it's our.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. He was like, I don't get any of my alone time. I'm like, I mean, I get it. I'm annoyed too, but other perks.
yeah.
So
You're
that's my
married.
pour one out. I'm just,
Uh,
I'm
Well.
so excited to not be working from home. But that's
I
like,
know, but
there's
who
no
knows
end
when
in
that's gonna
sight.
happen. I know.
Yeah, we
Seriously,
already
no
were
end in
told
sight.
for sure we will be working from home at least through August.
It's crazy.
So it's another month and a half. And like, my coworker said the other day, she was like, honestly, I doubt we'll go back this year.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna go back to any type of normalcy. So I'm in the restaurant industry, right? Those of you listening, you already know that. If you're new, work in a restaurant. It's been, like, my job since I first got a job when I was 18. So I love it, but this new no indoor seating, only outdoor seating was supposed to only last for 3 weeks. The 3 weeks is basically up. If not this past Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. And I'm curious to see if it's going to stay in place or if they're going to be like, okay, go back to normal.
Yeah.
Or, like, what? I'm like,
I have a feeling they'll extend it.
Yeah, the 3 weeks is going to go.
At least they're still open.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I'm glad they're open.
It's great, honestly.
And it's been nice to go, like, to a restaurant.
I know, I've been to 2 now, so agreed. It's been pretty nice. Makes sense.
What about your second cheers to that?
I don't remember. I'm sitting here listening to yours, and I'm like, I don't remember my second one. I don't have one. So recently, I have been also keeping up with my no makeup, and I have not at all. And I think what made me officially decide no makeup unless it's like a really special event or a special moment or whatever. I can't wear makeup. I don't want to wear makeup at work. The masks make it just and now that I'm outdoors, the heat with the mask, it's just I'm too sweaty for this. Don't want it. That's really unhealthy. Like with the sweat and the mask and the sweat and the makeup, it's just so unhealthy for my skin. Yeah. So I haven't worn makeup in a long time, and it feels so good. Yeah, so good. I have always had really like dark circles, but I don't really mind it. Sometimes I'll touch it up with like a little tiny bit of like the powder concealer, but
and that's it.
That's it.
That's so nice. Good. I would. My skin is one of my biggest like self-conscious things because I've dealt with acne as a kid and teenager. I didn't have acne, and then when I hit my early 20s, I had really bad cystic acne. I had to go to the doctor for it. All of that fun things, and I've since like really gotten it under control. For the most part, I don't have acne, but I do have scarring, and it's like color scarring. So it doesn't look like much of anything when I have foundation on, but when I don't wear makeup, like you can see all of the scarring, and it's just one of those things.
Andre has that.
Yeah.
He has acne scarring too.
Yeah, and I've actually thought about that, like just men and women, not specifically Andre, but I'm like, dudes don't have like the luxury in high school or young adulthood when they're going through their acne spells to be able to cover it up, which like maybe that's why it doesn't last as long, because like healthy skin versus covering it up and pancakking stuff on it. But like I feel for them because they don't have the luxury of that of like trying to cover it up or whatever. Right. But anyways, absolutely. Whole little mini tangent.
No, but that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. My cheers to that this week is that I finished my Sarah's Day 8-week program.
That went by so fast, I feel.
It did go by fast.
Yeah, heck yeah.
She
killed it, by the way.
I feel so much stronger. Like I showed you the before and afters, which I really want to post, but I am nervous to post them because they're in my underwear. And like you can't see my face in them, but like I don't know if I'm ready to post a picture of my underwear. Yeah. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on if I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. I have no idea. Right. If I've done it, in the show notes, we'll put, like, where you can find the photo. But basically, overall, like, on the front-facing ones and the back-facing ones, you don't see a lot of change. But on the side ones, you really see a change in my tummy. And I just feel so strong. Also,
not only in your tummy, like, in the back, in the arch of your back, in your arms, you can tell, too. They look the same size, but there's a different, like, consistency to your arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they look more lean. Yeah, and then I also did measurements, and I basically gained like size in my muscles. Like my thighs and my biceps are bigger, and then my waist is like slightly smaller. And it's no change in weight, but the change in where the weight is held. And I'm very happy about it, and I feel really strong. I can actually do more than 2 burpees without feeling like I'm dying.
And push-ups.
And push-ups, dude, the push-ups, yeah, I've been doing really good with push-ups. I actually did Katie Yovin's live workout this morning, and she had us do... Did she have us do push-ups? Actually, I don't think she did. I'm thinking of yesterday's workout. But anyway, one of the workouts that I did recently, it was like 30 seconds of push-ups, and you had to do the push-up where you push down, and then you let your arms go, and you like do a Superman look, and you come back down and push back up, which is actually easier to do, but it is more weight because you're doing a full body push-up that way. I do them on my knees, and before I could have never done that for a full 30 seconds, but now I can, and I'm like, That's 8 weeks.
That's exciting.
Of work. That's so exciting.
That is exciting.
So that's my cheers to that.
Ooh, I'm super proud of you because you were super committed and you were doing very well.
Thank you.
You are doing very well.
I know. I have another one now. I'm going to go more into a weightlifting option for the next 5 weeks and do a cycle of more weightlifting, and then we'll see what I do from there. But it's nice to, like, also just mess around and do different things too.
Yeah.
And it's good for your body to do that because...
Well, you like the different thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it's good because your body will get used to things, and then it'll turn that into whatever your maintenance is, and then nothing will really change.
Progress.
So if you continue to fluctuate in what you're doing with your body, then you'll continue to see results.
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Things that Misfit and Nerdy taught me.
Okay.
I've named dropped a short ton of YouTubers just now. So Sarah's Day is the first one I was talking about. And then I talked about Katie Yovan. And then I talked about Misfit and Nerdy, all three of which are like healthy lifestyle, workout, exercise, eating healthy, blah, 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 YouTubers. So you should check all of those out if you're interested in that kind of a thing.
Yes, I follow both Sarah's Day and Katie Yovan. So today's the first day that you mentioned the Misfit. So haven't done that one, but the other ones I follow. Yeah. On their Instagrams, not only YouTube, and it's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fun. Let's get into our topic.
Okay, social media.
Perfect little transition there because we talked about YouTubers. So, social media, man. Okay, so
how long have you been on, at what age did you start and get into social media?
Yeah, so I was on MySpace.
Oh, me too. I did it illegally behind my mom's back. She was very mad.
So I had a MySpace when I was in high school, like ninth. I think I got it in ninth, maybe even 7th or 8th grade. Like I think I was pretty young when I got on MySpace. And MySpace back then was like Facebook, but a lot more pretty /
there was just things more customized on my, if that makes sense.
Yeah, all of us were little mini coders.
Your top friends, exactly.
And you could rank your friends.
You can rank them, yeah.
I saw a meme the other day that was like, we need to bring the ranking back. People need to be put in their place.
Yeah, I love that.
So I was on MySpace when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and then I was really against moving into Facebook for some reason. I was like, no, that's for old people, and like, whatever. Yeah. Eventually, obviously, I made the switch. So then I went on to Facebook probably in my junior year or maybe senior year. Instagram came around when I was a freshman in college or a sophomore in college, so I got on that. Twitter was around when I was in high school, and I remember having a flip phone that you could tweet by texting, and you had to text like a short number 6064 or whatever. And I could tweet from there. And if you really want to go way back on my Twitter, you can find those tweets. I have not deleted anything.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so I've been on all of those. I got onto YouTube when I was, I started making videos in 2012, and then I really, really, started making videos regularly in 2014, and I've recently stopped doing that, which is kind of what we'll get into as this episode goes on. So that's kind of like my history on social media. Okay. What about you?
So mine, I got MySpace in 7th grade, and like I had said.
And we're 2 years apart for those of you listening.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm 27 now, and you're 25 now.
Yep. Am I? Yep. I am. So I got MySpace behind my mom's back. She wasn't a fan of it, but I had to be in the group and doing what everybody else is doing. Me, I have not changed whatsoever. Gosh. So I got MySpace, and then my mom found out, and so I deleted it. Or she deleted it, whichever way you want to put that. And then didn't have anything up until my sophomore year in high school is when I finally got Facebook. I got Instagram. And then I didn't get Twitter until, I think, my senior year. And I was never big on Twitter. Twitter, I was just like, that was 2013, and I go and I made a couple tweets, and that's like it, and posted a couple pictures. Going back to my sophomore year, when I downloaded Facebook, it was for the sole purpose of, like you said, it's for old people. I was doing it to keep my family updated because my immediate family and myself moved out of state to no family whatsoever except for my grandparents, which don't have internet or social media. So I wasn't concerned for that. I wanted to keep my family in the loop with pictures. So you'll find all my high school pictures and my 8th grade pictures on Facebook. That was my I would upload 40 photos, 50 photos a week of just updating. And I took photos of everything. It's like so stupid when I look at them. But I won't delete them because it's so...
It's nostalgic. It's like memories. Photo albums.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. And then Instagram, I remember I was sitting in a desk and my friend at the time, Essence, she was like, just do it. It's so cool. You do this and that. And I was like, I don't want to. And then the next day I walked in, Essence, I got Instagram. Show me what to do. And I like remember that. And then I slowly got into that. And now here we are today. And I don't have a Twitter. I have Instagram. I have Facebook still for the I don't post on Facebook. It's still for the purpose of photos.
Yeah.
For my family members. And that's it. That's all I have. And I have TikTok, but that's it.
Yeah, I have a TikTok. I don't use it. And I try not to even go on that app because it sucks you in and then you sit there for 6 hours.
Oh, man. She's not being dramatic. 6 hours is accurate. If you don't know.
Try not to go on that one. And then, we didn't talk about Snapchat. I had Snapchat. For a long time, I was obsessed with Snapchat. Although I've never really used it the same way that a lot of people who are like even a couple years younger than you use it. They use it like texting. Like they use that one.
That's true. My brother still does that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's weird.
I don't have a good enough memory to be able to use an app that doesn't keep your messages.
Yeah,
I need to be able to go back. And I like to be able to go back and like
reference something or
things or like look at the pictures that we sent or whatever. And I don't like Snapchat. And then I liked the stories aspect, but when Instagram got stories, initially, again, I was kind of like, against Instagram, I don't like it.
Me too.
Yeah, and now I use it all the time, and I don't use Snapchat.
Me neither. I totally forgot about Snapchat. So when we had gotten Snapchat came out, I got Snapchat. I was all about it. I never used it for text. It was just only for pictures and all that stuff and the purpose of stories. Instagram came out and I was so against it, just like you guys. Like, this is the stupidest thing. Why would I do this on 2 different accounts? This is dumb. And then going, further, I was like, okay, this is all on one app. I might as well just do it. It's all connected. And then I was like, well, people that aren't on Instagram, like, are more on Snapchat. Like, now they're not going to see my stuff. And so I had a little bit of a battle within myself. And finally I was like, okay, I'm doing the transfer. No, I'm deleting Snapchat. I am done.
Yeah. And I mostly only use Snapchat other than the stories, which I transitioned to Instagram eventually.
Yeah.
Then I was really only using it because you still liked Snapchat, and then you stopped using it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I mean, my sister uses Snapchat, but I can just text her. Like, why not just text people? I don't get it.
Exactly.
You have that option.
Mm-hmm. Dang, so, I forgot about Snapchat.
Yeah. So, that's like the history of
what
social
was it?
media.
Vine.
I never.
I loved Vine.
I remember.
I didn't partake.
Yeah, I remember making a few Vines. And then I was just like, why?
What are you doing?
Like, why? It's not entertaining to me, these, 6-second videos. And so I didn't watch it. So then I was like, why am I making it? Like, why? Mm-hmm. And then I just stopped. And I remember going to VidCon. I went to VidCon in 2015, I think. Mm-hmm. And Viners were still a thing.
Yes.
And so I remember I was sitting at, one of the panels that I was watching. And a Viner, was out on the floor. And he got caught. People saw him. Oh. And then a horde of screaming 12-year-olds were running. And he had to go backstage right next to where our panel was. And the girl that I was watching was like, well, those Viners, man.
What are you going to do? Yeah, I mean, Vine was a big thing. I mean, some people weren't into it. It was just, like you said, 15-second videos. But it was so funny. I think the reason why I love them is Andre and I love watching YouTube videos, funny videos of anything.
The little ones.
Yeah, and I just die every time I watch them. It's, the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, and I feel like that's similar to, why you well, I mean, we both like TikTok. But I think that it has a familiar vibe.
Absolutely.
Similar vibe.
This one I partake in, though.
Yeah.
For Vine, I was just a viewer, Yeah. This one I actively am in it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the history. So weird. So weird.
I know. Yeah.
So you have a daughter.
Yes.
This is really what I initially was thinking of when I brought up this episode was how did it, was it a really big thought process on if you would have her on, because your accounts are all public. Mm-hmm. How did that go? And then you now have an account for her specifically.
Right.
Did you have a thought process behind that? And, how did you make that decision? Blah, blah, blah.
I did not. The only, like, discussion was, like, a quick discussion with my now husband, you know, boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Like, are you okay with this? We post about her on our own pages. Can she have her own page? Mm-hmm. We're both very public. I tag the places we've been, knowing when we're gone from there. I do things like that. Like, I'll post, you know, that I was here later kind of thing.
Right.
Kind of like celebrities do.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do. Not that anybody's going to search for me, but you never know.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. So that's really the only thing that I look out for. But when it comes time to her and her in my post and what I post about her and her life, mm-hmm. there's no, like, guidelines that I follow or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Nothing. I'm not really concerned. Andrew's not concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
At all.
Have you had any sort of, like, other people bringing it up to you? Like, have you had to have that conversation with, I don't know, like, family or random strangers being annoying?
No, not at all. And actually, a lot so I don't have too many family members on social media. Like, I don't have my immediate family. My brother has an Instagram, but is never on it. Mm-hmm. My mom has an Instagram just to look at photos, mm-hmm. doesn't post. My dad doesn't. Like, my aunts and uncle don't. My grandparents don't. Like, nobody has it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really get a lot of concerns from my family because I don't think they see it that much. Mm. The only time they see photos is, like, when I post on Facebook, mm-hmm. to a big mass post. Yeah. But, yeah, other than that, I don't think I've ever gotten questions from anybody, like, or rather a concern, like, are you sure you're doing the right thing by posting about your daughter, you know? I've never gotten that. Mm. So.
That's good.
Knock on wood. But, you know.
Yeah, I asked because, well, okay, so my parents on my dad's side, they're, like, very, very nervous about social media in general. They don't like that my account is public. Mm-hmm. They don't like that my sister's account is public. I don't know if it is anymore, but they've never really liked that, and we've had debates about it. And so, like, I remember when you made the account for Amelia, mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, would I ever do that? And I don't know if I will. I don't have a kid yet, so I don't have to make that decision. And I also don't know if Matt will agree with it because that's the next thing I want to talk about. But, like, I know that they would be concerned if I made an account for our invisible child that doesn't exist.
Right.
And I don't know if I even want to, like, deal with it because, like, I can easily set up the fact that, like, I'm making the decision for myself to be a public account.
Right.
I think that that'll be a harder conversation if it was for a child. For me to have with my family.
Right.
And then on top of all of that, Matt doesn't like, he, like, doesn't hate that I'm on social media or that I use social media or that I'm public on social media, but he, like, would really like it if I didn't post mm-hmm. anything ever. Like, he's just like
he doesn't like his videos. He doesn't like being in stories as much.
Yeah, and, like,
he's a little more.
Yeah, he doesn't get why he feels like it's a show off. Like, why do you need to post in public? Like, why do you need that? And so he, like, doesn't care about taking the photo with me because I've been like, this is memories. Like, it doesn't matter that it was just, like, some boring date, but it's still, I want to be able to, like, just have these photos for later when our kids and our grandkids and whatever ask.
Right.
Like, I've always loved looking at photo albums.
Me too.
And to me, Instagram, even though it is public, Instagram feels like a virtual photo album for mm-hmm. later. Like, we'll be able to look back. And I look back every day. My favorite, I didn't even talk about this in our apps. My favorite app is Time Hop because it shows you all of your accounts. It pulls everything up from all the accounts you access it on and shows you 1 year ago, 2 years ago, all the way up until you stop posting. Aww. So, like, I get posts from Facebook from 9 years ago. Like, that's so crazy to see. It's weird and it's funny and, like,
and it gets you all giddy when you see stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good or bad.
Yeah. So, like, I love that. And so I want to have that stuff. And so he gets that part of it. But, like, especially with, like I said, I have been on YouTube until recently, like, making videos and stuff. And he's like, why? Mm-hmm. And I've, like, talked to him because he's, like, entertaining. I'm like, you could make a YouTube channel. And he's like, I have no interest in being on a podcast, being on a YouTube channel. It's why I don't have an episode with him like Bayley has an episode with Andre, because Matt won't do it.
He won't, yeah.
And so he's like, why would I tell my personal life
Yeah, he's against
to
it.
strangers. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it.
Because your perspective is so on the total different side of the spectrum.
I'm like, I love entertainment like this.
Right.
So then I want to also take part in creating the content.
Yeah.
And he's a creative person and he likes being creative. He's an artist and he's a graphic designer and all that stuff, but his creativity doesn't stand anywhere in his like personal. He doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say?
No,
I don't know. So
I feel you on that.
That's like a whole thing on that side. And that all of that history, I think, is why I was curious if you had any experience with Amelia's account, especially because I'm curious to see what kind of conversation me and Matt will have about that kind of stuff, even on my own account. Like, is he going to be okay with me posting pictures of our kid on my public account, or are we going to have to do something more private for friends and family, or like, what'll be the decision? We haven't talked about it because it's not.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of compromises I'll be willing to have versus what kind of things I'll be more like, I really want to do this.
Stern about.
And I don't know which ones he'll care about either. Because he does, I mean, he still lets me post pictures of him. He's not against it enough to like fight me on it.
Right.
But when it comes to our kid, will that change? I don't know. We don't have one
different.
So,
dang,
it's interesting.
It's totally different because on my side, like I said, Andre and I are both very much, I mean, he's not on, so he scrolls through social media. He doesn't post often. He posts when like big things happen or something.
Yeah.
But he's not very, like I said, there was never a discussion, like, are you okay with this? Or, I mean, there was, but it was just like an easy, oh yeah, I don't
like
mind. I want people to see her kind of thing.
Yeah.
So very, very different, your relationship and what you're going to experience versus what I've gone through.
Yeah. Yeah. It brings a whole different level of things, thinking about like that, like kids.
Yeah.
Which, again, like, aren't on the horizon yet, so it's not something that we've had to discuss.
Right.
But I am curious how the conversation will go.
Yeah, absolutely. Dang, that's a big, I was thinking right now with the whole, like, children trafficking like, going on right now, I'm like, people are going to listen to this and be thinking, like, well, I don't want my kid to be out there because of everything that's going on right now, you know? Then again, that's always been a thing.
But
so
it's always been a thing. It's not new.
Been a thing. It's just now something that people are bringing up with all the other problems, and just everything's becoming so apparent to everyone with what's truly going on in our world, you know, whether it's new or it's been going on for all of eternity. Yeah.
Which, speaking of, nice transition here.
Yes.
Okay. Current social media usage.
Yeah.
And like the current social media climate.
I don't know. It's tough because you have those who are not posting anything and are solely posting, you know, giving information and giving protest and all this stuff and, you know, making you aware of everything that's going on. Love that. And then there's, I'm not against anything that's going on social media. Like, you know, I'm okay with the people that don't feel comfortable posting, you know, don't know about it, so they don't want to, you know, speak out on their behalf. And they're still posting personal content. You know, I'm still posting personal content. I've been kind of in hiding a little bit, but it's not so, I haven't been in hiding solely for the purpose of everything that's going on. I'm taking it into account, but I don't know. It's just such a hard topic. There's literally
with COVID-19,
so much going on.
Yeah, there's the climate of a lot of people still posting stuff regarding Black Lives Matter and like protests and all of the injustice that's happening right now in America, that's been happening, like we were just talking about, but is really highlighted right now. Then there's like the COVID stuff and like,
and specifically where we are in California, we're closing down again. Oh, no, we're opening. No, we're closing down again. So that's...
And, like, the argument of, like, wear your freaking masks and, like... And then within people who are following the rules and do take it seriously, not the people who are, like, denying that COVID is real. We're not even talking about them. Yeah. But even within people who are taking it seriously and all of that stuff, there's, like, a spectrum of people who are saying, like, you shouldn't be going out to restaurants at all. You shouldn't be seeing humans other than who you live with at all. Like, you should be staying home still in quarantine. strictly. And then there's the other side, which I think I definitely am sitting more in, where no, I'm not gonna go and like hang out with 25 people or like host a party or anything, but I do want to be able to go to a restaurant, follow the guidelines and social distance and wear my mask when I have to and all of those things.
Agreed.
As well as seeing a short list of friends. And like I've never had a big circle of friends anyway, so like I don't need to throw a 25 people person party. Right. But I do want to see you, and I want to see my few friends that I have close.
Right.
And, like,
or go out with your husband like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird feeling that I think I have felt. I've talked to some people who also have felt this, of like feeling like you can't post if you leave your house. Like, because there's this like worry that people will
there
judge
will be a shame on you.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for making that
That's
decision, even though you are taking it seriously. Like you're not. I'm not. There are people out there who are denying that COVID is real, or denying that it's serious, and denying that it's scary and all of that. There are people out there, but like I don't think that is the same thing as choosing to go out to a restaurant and follow the guidelines and stuff.
It's definitely it's such a tricky, barrier to cross. And I mean, yes, you are taking a risk, but I mean, everyone just has a different perspective. Okay, so like me, for example, I've gone out twice, 2 restaurants. First one, totally unexpected. It was just with my husband and with my dad. It was us 3. We went at such a random time, too, where we knew it wasn't going to be too crowded. There was literally like 2-3 other tables in that restaurant. And they were doing 2 booths between, not just one. So they were taking that extra precaution. And that was great. It was a great experience. I used my own straw. I used, it was great. And then the second experience I had was last weekend. And it was with more people. It was like 7 or 8 of us. People that I've never met, except for one. And so I was a little concerned, but I was super open with, the girl whose birthday it was and who she was, planning it. We had been in a group chat, and so people were really open and honest. About, hey, I've been in contact with this person. I'm no longer going. Or, I just took a test. I tested, negative, but there's a lot more false negatives lately, so I'm going to take another one. I can't go. Or, so people were so open. So I made sure that I was going, also thinking okay, the people that I'm going with also care. I'm not just putting myself out there for people to put me in danger kind of thing. So that kind of eased my mind a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna go out to a restaurant, that you're putting yourself in a different position. Yeah. But wear your mask when you should. Don't. I mean, yes, you're sitting next to these people, but as long as you know that they're good and it is what it is in that moment. That's fine, but don't go up to any other strangers. Or honestly, I don't use public restrooms right now. I don't even use the restrooms at my work. They've always been gross to me, but I'm just not doing it right now. Yeah. So every time before I go to work, I'll just go pee before I go to work. So I did that with the brunch. I just want to pee before I went, and that was that. So
and I'm not taking it. I'm not even doing those amount of precautions. I'm just making sure I wash my hands. Yeah. I'm washing my hands way more than I used to, because before, I mean, obviously, other than if I get something gross on my hands, I don't know, food or whatever, or if I go to the bathroom, that was pretty much the only time I ever actively washed my hands. Right. I mean, showering
consistently. Yeah.
And so now I'm okay, I'm just more conscious of it. I'm more aware of this is a public space. I want to use that hand sanitizer that's right there or whatever, especially in the public space. But I'm also trying to not be too, and I'm not judging anybody who is taking it to the extreme of caution, because if you're not comfortable, then you're not comfortable. Yeah. You do you. And I totally think that that's okay. I think what my struggle during this time has really been is the amount of judgment that's on social media. Yes. And I've always been very big on fuck you guys, I'm gonna post whatever I want. And
this has definitely made you step out.
Yeah, this makes me feel uncomfortable about posting. I went to a restaurant last night with my friend who I used to work with at my previous job, and we went. It was wonderful. There was actually no line, which I was really surprised about. We went to a rooftop bar, but it's a restaurant. they had huge tables that are like, they seat like 10 people. Normally at that restaurant, they'll seat multiple parties who don't know each other at these tables.
Right.
That's how this restaurant works. And they didn't do that. They had set up like private, clear plastic things in between every booth. Obviously, you're interacting with a server.
Right.
And that's it. And like, I felt every restaurant I've gone to, I have felt very much like they're taking all the precautions they can. And yeah, I do go to the bathroom in a public restroom, and I'm going to make sure I wash my hands right as I leave, so I don't bring anything with me.
Right.
To wherever I'm going next or whatever. And like, I felt, the reason I bring it up is because we took a couple pictures. We took a picture with masks on, because like memories. And then we took a picture without them on. And we were by ourselves in the area where we were standing for this picture. And then I have them, and I'm like, normally I would post this picture, but I don't know if I want to. But then I also posted a picture in the stories of the bathroom, because the bathroom's really cool. And
you did.
I don't know, like,
you should.
It's just a mix. It's like,
I mean,
where do I
to
stand
be
in my
honest, though, you've already posted a picture of you and Matt having a date night a couple weeks ago, or last weekend.
Yeah.
So there's no harm in you doing it now.
The part that
like
makes me
back to
uncomfortable
back?
is actually the fact that I was with somebody who I don't live with, and I'm not.
Okay,
I think it's about who I was
That's
with.
right.
That's
You
why I
said
took
you
a
were
photo, a video with myself in the bathroom.
I got it.
So you don't know who I'm with, and like the photo is obviously with me and her, and like I don't know, like there's a weird fine line of who's comfortable with what, and where I stand in my comfortability of.
But then there's the whole topic is social media. Social media is like, it's a judgment zone. Whether that, I mean,
and they're
bringing
gonna
in
judge about
COVID, people, there's going to be the people who don't believe in COVID. They're going to judge you for believing it. There's people that believe in COVID and are going to judge you for not believing it. Like, there's always going to be judgment on both sides. It's not you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you have been solely like active in, you know, when the main protests were going on for the Black Lives Matter and the movements and everything. You were in the streets, like you showed
up.
Exactly. So it's not that you're just doing you right now. You're doing everything, and I think that is super important.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird time.
It's hard. I mean,
and it's hard to know where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. So now going into the judgment topic of social media, it's harsh. It's a hard place to be. Yeah. It is a place where you don't want to be sometimes, and you feel weird about yourself, and you're supposed to be building yourself up. It's a harsh place. It's a cruel world out there.
Speaking of that, like, you haven't been posting as much. I recently deleted Twitter and decided to stop making YouTube videos. I am kind of doing some lives on Instagram now, which is new. Yeah. But, yeah. So I bring up those things because I'm like, what, like, did you consciously decide to, like, slow down your posting?
I did.
And how did that go?
Well, it was kind of like a mix of a couple things there. I haven't really been in the right, like, mindset. I've been super busy. Getting this house was, like, it was stressful in the best way, like, for all good things and reasons. And the best came out of it, but it was super stressful. Like, we're first-time home buyers, so there was that. Everything going on in the world right now. Am I going back to work? Am I not going back? There's just so much going on that I was like, I don't feel like giving my energy to a social media platform right now. I don't feel comfortable. There's enough going on. Like, I don't want to add to anything. It's fine. And so I haven't been. And that's really it. I've just been in my own zone. I've been home. There's been a lot going on. I've been focusing on me and my family and what, like, all the new things we're going through. I've been focusing on when I do work, just doing that, and that's like it. So, but like, taking into part, yes, a little bit of what I was thinking is like, there's just so much going on. I don't want to post and add to everything. I'm okay with just sitting here and scrolling when I want to and not adding to anything. Whether it be personal or...
Yeah. Have you still been on social media a lot?
Yeah, I've been haven't been on TikTok. But I think that's because TikTok, I go on to not only watch, but I go on to partake. And I haven't been doing that at all. And so, yeah, not on TikTok at all. Facebook, I'm not on at all. And then Instagram, I'll get on to scroll or I'll get on to, that's it, actually, because I haven't been posting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you haven't even been really using stories or anything.
No, like when I say I haven't been posting, I don't just mean my feed. Yeah, I haven't been doing anything.
Yeah.
And it feels good, honestly. My mind's like at ease.
Yeah.
I've been going through a lot, so it feels good.
Yeah, and it's weird talking about like posting, even though both of us we do not have like big followings by any means. We're just like normal people who have social media. We're not
just
influencers.
Love to share.
Yeah. And I mean, we do partake in type of posts that are influencer-y, but we don't have the type of following that people who, that's a whole different like
people don't search for us. They're not waiting for our post.
Yeah. So with all of this, I kind of want to talk about like comparing like social media, talking about like where you feel at ease and stuff. Like, I know that even though I don't want to compare myself and my life to whoever, like it's very easy to get into the mindset of like everybody's lives look so entertaining or so perfect or
never
whatever.
Look like they fight. They never look like they have problems.
Yeah,
their
whichever
body,
one.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Or just like knowing that like, oh, you've achieved X and I still haven't achieved X.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, like has that felt, did that play a part in like what you were feeling in deciding to leave, not leave permanently, but
take a break.
And I don't know, do you know where I'm going with
my
question?
I do, and no. So my answer is no, because I've always had a really good mindset about not giving an F, flying toot, about what people...
Flying toot.
I got a 3-year-old present. I gotta keep a PG, even though this one doesn't.
I know. I'm so bad.
I don't care about what people think about me and what they, see of me. I've never cared. It's not a thing in my life. So no, that it did not have a take, and there was no comparison... me feeling, bad about my body right now or anything like that. That's just personally, I don't care about other people. I just don't. Right now, I think what you're asking is like, is that why you stopped? Because you're afraid to post that, you haven't been doing good? No, I've stopped for like the ease of my mind. Yeah. And like my body all of it, mind and body and soul just needed a break. Yeah. Kind of thing. Yeah. And that's why I did it. Not for anybody else. I did it solely for myself and like my family.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Okay, so one of the things that I like still need to really work on is myself and like comparing where I'm at, what I've accomplished or whatever to other people, period. And sometimes I even struggle with that like personally in our lives, and it's not even a social media thing. It's just like, I don't know. Like I struggle with that. And social media doesn't help because it looks perfect. Right. People do post, everything is curated online. So even people who are posting like, oh, I'm having a hard day, or, oh, I'm going through something that's really terrible, whatever it happens to be, it's still the way that they want to not perform it, but show it. Right. And so, yeah, I do really struggle with that in general. And then an added layer of that is like, I've been on YouTube for almost 7 years, I think, and I've never really hit, and people always love to say that it's not about the views, or it's not about the subscribers, it's not about the numbers, but yes, it is. I'm sorry. Anybody who says that and thinks that it's not at all is lying to you. So that's not true. I say that as an absolute belief that there is nobody who gets on any social media platform as trying to be an influencer and doesn't care if they
don't get the reaction they want.
Yeah. And yeah, so I've been on YouTube for however long, and I've never really made it. I've never really made it to the level that I've always wanted to, and it's been really hard for me to watch me work this hard and produce this content and edit this content and film it and all the time and energy it takes to do that, and to not see that people care. Right. To share, watch, subscribe. It doesn't matter. Like all of it together. It's really disheartening. Like I'm putting in all this work and some of it is for myself. I like making the videos. It's why I've tried to kind of transition into doing these lives, because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I like doing it, and I like sharing. And so it is partially, definitely for me. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't want to put in this energy and effort into making these cool-ass videos, in my opinion, that nobody seems to think is cool enough. You know? Like,
just for
that's
yourself.
part of it. Like, the part of it is the engagement. You want to be able to talk about what you've created.
Right. Absolutely.
With the viewers. And so that's kind of why I left YouTube, is because part of it is the comparison game that I struggle with, because it's like, I've been on YouTube for this amount of time, and so have some of my friends, and they're doing ways more successfully than I am. They're actually like making money, side hustling with this, and I'm making all of this content and spending a part-time job's worth of time on it, and I'm not getting anything out of it. And I think my point is that I was getting something out of it. I'm not just, again, like, I did enjoy making it, but it wasn't worth the amount of energy that I was outputting for what I was getting from it, I think is the point. Yeah. And yeah, so that's kind of why I left YouTube. And then as far as Twitter goes, I left Twitter because mind, body, and soul needed a break from this like never-ending onslaught of negativity. Like, Twitter is just a dumpster fire. Always. It always has been. It always will be. And for a long time, that was fun to be a part of. Like, I liked the energy, that
putting fire in.
Yeah, like, I like that negative energy. Sometimes it's fun. And like I said earlier, I have a dry sense of humor. Like, I love that
You're right.
feeling. But lately, it's just been like,
taking a toll.
It's like, are we seriously having this conversation again? Yeah. And I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter in this case. It's not about like, oh, geez, like, stop complaining. No. These are two separate things. These are people complaining about the same things. That's just dumb bullshit, like, life things. And I'm like...
Things they can... I feel you.
Like,
I know where you're going.
No. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. So, recently I started using the mute button, which is nice. So, I actually re-downloaded Twitter and started going through there, and anybody who is doing that type of posting that is upsetting to me personally, I just started muting them. I don't need a block. It's not important enough to block, but just I'm curating my own space. And then I did the same thing on Instagram. Oh my god, it is so nice.
It's your life 10 times nicer.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to curate your space. And I think a lot of people are judgmental about people doing that too.
Yeah,
they
I see that.
They like think that you're silencing others, and I'm like, you have your own space to talk. Like, I'm not deleting your account.
People are still gonna see whatever you do.
Yeah, that's not.
You just don't want the negativity in your life.
That's
just the people those negative people that like live for bashing on others or commenting or posting and wanting people to see them. They live and thrive for that feedback from people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now when you go to mute someone or block someone or go to their page for them to unfollow you and do all those steps, they get mad because now they can't affect you in the way that they wanted to.
And it's interesting because I notice like YouTube, Twitter, not so much Instagram. Instagram's a different beast. But Twitter and YouTube, a lot of people who get like really big, really fast tend to make negative videos, like rant videos or like negative reviews or whatever, yelling at whatever it is. Whatever content you're interested in, there's somebody out there that's yelling about it. And that's how they're getting views. And I think it's really fascinating that humans in social media are so obsessed with that negativity and drawn to it. And it's like, I don't know what has happened in the last, like, maybe even just a year, but it's like, I don't have the energy to be dealing with this when I already have enough worry and concern and stress about everything going on in the world. Yeah. I don't need it. I want Instagram to be where I go look at pretty things and pretty people and figure out how to work out correctly and make recipes.
And call it a day.
Yeah. And see my friends when I can't see them in person. Yeah. Because we're all stuck at home.
Yes. For however much long. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, and I support it because I did that too. I didn't delete Instagram, but I'm taking a break away from it until whenever that may be, and it feels great. It feels so good to just step away and take again, mind, body, and soul, just like a relaxation state right now.
And
Feels good.
I think people should do that more often.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all so connected virtually on our phones, whether that's texting and calling or our social media. Like, we're all so available.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay to not be available.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And that's okay. Like, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take the time.
You can miss a phone call. You can take a while to respond to a text. It's not gonna hurt anything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. And that's why I don't have my red receipts on.
Oh, I do. Because I like that. I like doing that to people. No. Whether it be on accident or not, I'm always like, either whoops, sorry I did that to you, or like, no, I meant to do that. I don't gotta respond. Anyways.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I think that's our episode.
I think that covers it. Yeah.
Social media is a weird beast.
It is weird. It's great. It's bad. It's all the things.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. Like, we love social media.
Yeah, we do.
We do. And like I said a little bit earlier in this podcast, and we've talked about it before on other podcasts, like, in an ideal world, we would love to be influencers. Like, that's perfect. Let me make money doing what I already
about
do.
The shampoo or something.
Yeah, like, that's fine with me, but I also think that we deserve it, and people who do this professionally, like true influencers, I think there's this expectation that they should never take time off.
Right.
And like, yes, they should, and they should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so should you, as an individual, like a normal person, you also can take time off.
Yep.
Of posting on social media when you want to, and you shouldn't feel like, I don't know.
You shouldn't feel any type of obligation. You're not tied to anything. It's not, you didn't sign up, for this for life. It's an app, and you just, at the end of the day, you can't forget that. It is just an app, or apps, and you just need to, don't feel tied to anything. That's it. Just,
We have a quote! We actually have one! Wow!
Kassie did it. I don't take part. She thought about it.
Okay. Our quote today is, "Don't compare your life to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time."
Aw, I love that. That's so cute.
It's good, right?
Who was it by? It was like an anonymous one? Dang. I like that one a lot.
I like it too.
I mean, and we touched base on all of that. Just don't compare. Don't do it. Yeah. Take a break when you need to. If you feel that negative energy, like whether it be coming from somebody else or coming from yourself, beating on yourself. Yeah. Just take a step and don't play those games. Yeah.
And
I love that. Sun and moon. Cute.
Yeah. And it's so easy to be like I was talking about very vaguely earlier, it's so easy to be like, I feel like I should have accomplished this or that, and they did it, and they've done that, and maybe I don't know. I think a lot about like work and stuff right now is a really big one in my head, and or like babies. Oh my God, babies. I'm like, I want a baby so bad.
Babies.
And so like, I'm just like, damn, like I still don't have this or that or whatever, and I'm this age and whatever. I haven't accomplished it yet, but like, I also had this really nice conversation with my mom and with a coworker the other day talking about like, we have this expectation that we should have our dream job by 25 or whatever.
And that expectation is built, at like the age of 10.
Yeah.
When us little girls are like, we're going to get married by this age, we're going to have kids by 24 or whatever the case may be. It's very soon on in life that we start that habit.
Yeah, and everyone is like, everyone has to figure out what they want to do in their job.
Yeah.
For when they're like,
what are you going to be? What are you
when
going to be?
they're a junior in high school, and then if you change your mind, then it's like, oh, you're taking 2 steps back, and like, there's this weird expectation that you should have everything perfectly aligned by your mid-20s, and I think this is like the quarter life crisis speaking in me, where it's like, hold the phone. I don't have to have everything perfectly aligned right this minute. Like, I took the time to figure out what I wanted to do, or whichever one it happens to be. And I'll get there when I get there. And the journey to get there is what's going to make it perfect when it happens.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yep.
And a lot of times, like, I mean, we're 2 married women. So a lot of times I think people our age also are like freaked out because they haven't found like their partner in life. But like, not everyone finds their partner really early. Can I use your husband as an example? Yeah, like, he's so old.
Yes, he is very... I love when I'm out with friends, and I'm like... And they're talking about, like, different... Sorry, really quick.
Go ahead.
So I went to this brunch, right? And there was there was a girl there who was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's like this age, more above me. And I was like, oh, I know someone like who does that. My best friend, her husband's like 100 years older than her. I don't say that. I say like, what is it?
14 and a half.
Okay, good. I said 15. See?
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost 15 years. So yeah.
So he met you at a not young age. You got married at not a young age for him. So it's like, it'll happen when it happens. When it's meant to be, it'll meant to be.
Yeah. And don't settle for less.
Yeah. Heck no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
Yay.
that's
That's
our episode. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. We have it. Please rate us on podcasts, Apple Podcasts. That would be amazing. It really helps us out. And we also have Instagram and Twitter for our Girls Who Gab episode. It's Girls Who Gab _, as well as our own personal accounts, which are all linked down below.
Yes.
Yay.
Thanks, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's empty.